Hey, what's up, Ing family? Today, let's talk about how to coach your client through a long tattoo or a very painful tattoo. This is more for those tattoo artists who are doing big sessions, long days, full days, or even half days. Can anything past the 3 hour mark on average is going to be very painful for some people, or that's when the pain thresholds starts to go down. So the first thing starts with the prep. So you want to make sure that you don't lie to your client. I don't believe in that, and tell them that it's not going to hurt. Tattoos hurt. It's a needle. It's going to hurt. And depending on the area, it could hurt more than others. Use your knowledge or try to learn from other artists or people in the industry and try to learn from your clients, your past clients, what those pain thresholds are going to be. So that way you can properly prep your client for that area that you're going to be starting on. That's actually gotten me much better results with my clients. And I let them know, depending on the area, that yeah, it's going to be more sensitive there, or you could run into more sensitivity, rather than lying to them and telling them, oh, you're not going to feel shit, it's going to be great, don't worry about it. That never pans out, and then they might even feel a little resentment towards you for guiding them in that way. So it starts off with the prep. For sure, try to guide them properly and give them proper expectations, so that way they can handle that tattoo. And then in that sense, they'll be able to last a lot longer. The next way you can guide somebody through a long, painful tattoo is their comfortability level. Make sure that you can reach the tattoo properly, and that your workspace isn't going to be, that their comfort and your ability to work on that area both balance out. Otherwise, if you worry too much about only getting to that area, you might compromise the client's comfort, and that can be a factor. I know some of the old school mentality was fuck the client's comfort, I need to make sure that I can get to that tattoo, and that's the only thing that matters. Look, I get that, I totally understand, but if your client is uncomfortable and there is a lot of pain, or they're experiencing pain, they're not going to be able to handle as much tattoo as you would need them. And now, even though you were able to get to that tattoo area, now they might not even be able to handle the whole tattoo. So you want to make sure that that balances out, and that you find a happy medium between your ability to get to that tattoo area and have proper leverage, so that way you can do a good, clean tattoo, and also balance out that client's comfort, with your chair, with your setup, with however it is you want to do that. Another way you can guide your client through a long, painful tattoo is to become aware of how they're handling the tattoo. See if they're able to get distracted enough, either in conversation, on their devices, on a book, or whatever it might be, or even just staring at the wall. If they're able to either fall asleep or get distracted easy, then you can kind of rest a little bit easy, knowing that this client can handle a little bit more than the average. Or if you know that they're fidgeting, or they're moving a lot, or they're having a hard time with the tattoo within the first couple hours into the third hour, then there's a higher likelihood than that they're going to be in pain past that 3 hour to 4 hour mark. So you want to become aware of that. You want to look out for that. Start to learn that. So that way you know what to do next. So that way you know when to maybe offer a break, stand up and stretch really quick. You don't want to take long breaks unless you're going to be eating, but then you also want to guide your client through that. That's where communicating is huge. You want to let them know, hey, if we take a break, there's a chance that us getting off of the tattoo is going to allow your body to calm down a bit. And then when we get back into the tattoo, you might be a little sore and your body might not like it. Just a heads up. So that way they know what to expect. Again, that's the very first thing. Make sure to prep the client. So if you're going to take a break, stretching, or for eating, or whatever it might be, a longer break, make sure to prep them. But if you become aware of how they're taking the tattoo and how they're doing, there's a higher likelihood that if you prep them properly and you guys do take a break, that might be really beneficial for the client. That might be huge. That might be that little bit of a pause and rest that they need, right? After that, another way you can help your client through a long or painful tattoo is a strategy that I actually learned from my mentor, where if you know that they're fidgeting now, they're having a hard time, they're actually showing physical signs of pain, or they might be grunting or that kind of thing, coach them and say, you got this, you can do it, don't worry, we're almost there. But then after that, if they're still struggling, coach them to focus on their breathing and to start to accept the pain, to be in the pain and experience. This is the point where distractions aren't working, conversation ain't working, nothing else is working. You could have them maybe bite something, grip something, maybe even grunt or push a little bit, but a lot of times that actually doesn't help. That's why I always revert to pain, try to be in the pain, try to best to focus on breathing instead. That's been huge, because when you focus on breathing, you're in the moment, and nothing brings you into the moment more like pain and breathing. So just try to accept that this is the experience, this is what you said yes to, this is what you're doing now, right? And that does usually help out a lot, because then that kind of triggers them to fall into a mental state. And a lot of clients do really well being there versus trying to fight the pain. Once you get to that threshold, another way that you could try to help a client through a long or painful tattoo, this strategy I also learned from my mentor, is to count how long you're going to be tattooing them for, how long the needle is going to be on them. And I coach them through that. So I tell them, hey, I'm going to count to 10. I'm going to be tattooing you for those 10 seconds. All right, here we go. Ready, set, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you count all the way to 10. You can slow that down if you want. I've done that before. I'm like, I'll do it like 1, 2, 3, 4 as I'm tattooing or filling in the area. And then once I hit 10, I let off, I wipe down, put a little liquid, try to calm them down a bit, put a little ointment. Sometimes that really takes the edge off. And that little moment of counting can start to break apart the moments of pain, and compartmentalize the pain a bit. And that has shown really good results for me. I learned it from my mentor, so I'm sure that he's had really good results with it as well. And that could be super beneficial for your clients. So maybe try giving that a shot. If you've been there before and you don't know what else to do other than coaching them through it, this might be huge for you. Another way that you can help your client through a long or painful tattoo is positive reinforcement. I am not the type to, tell my client to shut the fuck up and just take it, to stop being a bitch, stop being a pussy. I can't do that. I just doesn't feel right to me. I feel much more comfortable and much more compassionate towards my clients when I try to coach them through it, like, you got this, you can do this, we're almost there. Now, this is when we're at the stage when we're maybe an hour away, the last little bit, right? And they're having a really hard time. They're fidgeting a lot. They're grunting and pushing. They're really trying to make it through the tattoo. That's where you want to start coaching them through it, with positive reinforcement. And also, giving them positive reinforcement is going to create a good experience for them after the fact, and they're going to be way more likely to come back to you rather than calling them a bitch and a puss. So that's been huge for me, but it does get very difficult at this point. Get somebody past maybe the 8-hour mark or past the 9-hour mark into the 12s and 14s, that gets really tough. At that point, another way that you can help your client through a long or painful tattoo, this is the point where we're towards the very end of the tattoo. We're talking hour 8 to maybe hour 14. Some people might be able to hang all the way to hour 14 and still be okay. But most people, once they get to that 8-hour mark, 10-hour mark, they're in a lot of pain. They're fidgeting. They're moving around a lot. They might be grunting or even crying. So if the coaching isn't working, nothing else is working, I do agree with starting to use sprays, numbing creams. That could be beneficial. I'm not a big fan of the numbing sprays. There are some out there that can cause people to have reactions. I prefer going the Bactine route. Bactine has a little bit of lidocaine in it, and it does take the edge off. In most cases, it's enough to calm the skin down, to help calm the client. And sometimes it's a placebo effect for them, and they feel like, oh, okay, we're good, we're numb, and they can hang in there for that last hour, for that last 2 hours, whatever it might be. If that's not working, that's when I agree with putting some numbing cream. I know there's controversy out there about putting numbing cream on open skin. Hey, look, it works. I've had really good results with it. We put on a little bit of numbing cream. If there's some area of the tattoo that hasn't been tattooed yet, I run my needle over the skin, some diluted ink, maybe the same tone that I'm gonna add there, just diluted. And I run my machine over that little area, and then I put the numbing cream on, put some plastic wrap on. We take a break for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we jump back in. That last hour, that last half hour, whatever it might be, is a cakewalk for that client. Now, the issue with that is that they could start to get a little dependent on the numbing cream if you maybe start too early, or if the numbing cream wears off on this person. That is very much person to person. It just depends who you work with, whether that numbing cream is going to work on them or not. In most cases, if you make it to the very end, you put some numbing cream on open skin, it seeps in really well. Within 20 to 30 minutes, that whole tattoo should be fully numb and they can handle the last little bit. Hope this helps, guys. I've used these techniques. A lot of it is from trial and error, from what's worked. Recently, I've been doing a lot more full day tattoos, and my clients have been able to hang in there all the way through. And I've had a mix of different clientele hang in there, someone that won't say nothing, but they're fidgeting and in pain. And these techniques have worked for me. Hope it works for you. Hope I was able to bring some sort of value. Be on the lookout for more videos. Drop a comment if you have something that you do that I didn't mention in this video. I would love to hear from you, because I love to talk to the community and see, share ideas and see what else is out there, because I can learn from you guys as well. Drop a like, make sure to hit the bell icon. to be updated of the next video. All right. Thank you, Ink Fam. Peace.